An abandoned Apache girl lies shaking in a pile of broken debris, thrown away like garbage as dust rises around her. A lone cowboy spots her beside the rusted cans and torn blankets, the sunset hitting her tears like fire on glass. He reaches for her with a trembling hand, not knowing that saving her will pull him into a storm far deeper than he expects. But when the girl lifts her head, revealing a secret her father tried to bury, the trail ahead twists into danger, desire, and a truth that could bind them or break them forever. What hidden past forces their lives to collide in a way neither can escape? The wind moved slowly over the dry New Mexico plains, lifting dust into the air like smoke from a dying fire. At the edge of an old dumping ground, scattered with broken crates and rusted metal, the soft sound of a whimper blended with the creaking of bent fence wire. A small figure sat curled beside a torn canvas bag, shoulders shaking, bare feet buried in grit and ash. The girl didn't move at the sound of circling crows or the wheels of a distant wagon. She held herself tight, as if shrinking from a world that had chosen to throw her away. A few yards up the dirt path, a cowboy rode in slow silence. His coat was worn, his hat pulled low, his horse tired from a long stretch without water. He wasn't looking for company. He wasn't looking for trouble. He was simply crossing the outer edges of a town that never felt like home. But when he heard a faint cry carried by the wind, he pulled on the reins and listened again. The sound came once more, soft, strained, almost swallowed by the land. He rode closer. There, among the trash, he saw her. An Apache girl, young enough to still have a child's round cheeks, but old enough to carry a kind of hurt usually seen in grown people. Her dress was torn, her arms bruised, her hair tangled with dust. She didn't lift her head when the horse stopped. She didn't seem to believe anyone would care enough to stop at all. He stepped down from the saddle, boots sinking into loose dirt. He didn't speak first. Instead, he crouched beside her and set his canteen gently near her knee, letting the message sit in silence. "I'm not here to harm you." For a moment, she didn't respond. Then she reached out with trembling fingers and touched the canteen, as though checking whether it was real. Only then did she lift her eyes, dark, tired, swollen from crying. Behind her, the wind dragged a long strip of cloth across the ground. It was tied in a rough knot, stained, the kind men used to bind someone they didn't mean to free. The cowboy understood. Someone had left her here on purpose, and whoever did it might not be far. He looked toward the empty horizon, the dust shifting like a warning. A soft sound rose from the girl's throat, not quite a word, more a plea. He knew then that leaving her wasn't an option. Not anymore. The cowboy kept his hand low as the girl clutched the canteen. She drank in small, shaky sips, like each drop needed permission. The dirt around them shimmered under the harsh sun, and the distant hum of wagon wheels drifted through the stillness. The smell of smoke from a nearby trash pile hung in the air, mixing with the scent of iron and dust. He watched her carefully, giving space yet staying close enough that she didn't feel alone. Her breathing steadied, but her gaze stayed fixed on the ground, as if afraid the world might strike again the moment she looked up. "You hurt?" he asked quietly. She shook her head, then hesitated, then nodded once. He knelt a little lower. "Can you stand?" A pause, then a whisper, rough with fear. "Maybe." Her hand moved toward him but stopped halfway, trembling in mid-air. He didn't rush her. He simply held out his palm, open, steady, offering support without command. After a long breath, she placed her fingers in his, her touch light as wind on dry grass. As she rose, a strip of torn cloth fell from her lap. He picked it up, turning it between his hands. The knot was tight, too tight, the kind men used when they didn't want someone slipping free. The girl flinched at the sight of it. Deep down, he already knew. But he asked anyway, "Did someone leave you here?" She swallowed hard. "Father." The word left her lips like something broken. He didn't ask why. Not yet. The land around them held too many ears, echoes, wind, crows, and some truths were meant to be spoken only when safe. Instead, he guided her toward his horse, keeping his body between hers and the open road. As they walked, she stumbled once. He caught her gently by the elbow. "Easy," he murmured. "I'm fine," she whispered, though her voice faltered. "You're freezing," he said. "It's the sun," she replied, but he knew it wasn't. Fear chills deeper than any winter wind. He lifted her onto the horse with slow, deliberate movements, as if she might break under too much force. She gripped the saddle horn with white knuckles, trying not to show how weak she felt. He tightened the blanket behind her and stepped back, checking the horizon. That's when he noticed the tracks, boot prints mixed with dragged lines in the dirt, fresh ones, too fresh. Someone had stood here not long before he arrived, someone heavy, someone angry, someone who walked away without looking back. The girl saw where he was staring, her breath hitched. "He said I don't belong," she murmured. "Said the tribe won't take me, said no one will." Her voice cracked, barely more than a ghost. She looked away, hugging her arms as if the memory still struck across her skin. He didn't push for more, not yet. A wound talks slow. "Listen," he said softly. "You're leaving this place. That's all that matters now." She looked at him then, really looked, and something flickered in her eyes. Not trust yet, but the shape of it. He climbed onto the horse behind her, guiding the reins. She sat stiffly at first, unsure how to hold herself with another human so close, but as the horse began moving, her shoulders eased slightly. The road ahead stretched long and empty, a ribbon of dust between dying brush and scattered rocks. The quiet wrapped around them like cloth. She kept glancing over her shoulder, checking the trail behind them, even though nothing stirred. "You expecting someone?" he asked. She hesitated. Then, "He said he'd come back." The cowboy's grip tightened on the reins. "To take you." "No." Her breath shivered. "To finish what he started." A low tension spread through his chest. The land ahead felt different now, too open, too quiet. The kind of quiet that comes before something moves. He guided the horse down a narrow path between rock outcrops. The girl flinched at every sound, the snap of a twig, the roll of loose gravel, the buzz of a fly. Trauma had sharpened her senses. Every shift in the wind felt like danger returned. As they turned a bend, she whispered, "Why stop for me?" He thought a moment. "Didn't feel right to leave you." "No one stops," she said softly. "Not for someone like me." "Well," he answered, voice low, "I ain't everyone." She absorbed that, eyes softening. But before the moment could settle, a sound tore through the stillness. A single clang of metal striking stone. The horse jerked. The girl gasped. The cowboy leaned forward, tightening his hold as dust drifted across the ridge ahead. Then came a second sound, a boot scraping against gravel. Someone was up there, watching, waiting. The cowboy's hand slid from the reins to the girl's arm, steady but firm. He eased the horse to a halt, turning it slightly so his body shielded her from the ridge above. Dust drifted lazily in the air, but the sound he'd heard wasn't dust. It was weight, metal, intent. "Stay low," he murmured. The girl's fingers dug into the saddle horn. "Is it him?" she whispered. "Don't know yet," he said. "But someone's there." For a moment, the world held its breath. Then a dark shape stepped into view, outlined against the burned sky. A man in a sweat-stained shirt, long hair braided with leather strips, a rifle hanging loose in one hand. Beside him, another figure appeared. A white man with a neat vest, hat too clean for this kind of land, a folded paper in his fist. The girl stiffened. Her breath came sharp. "Father," she said. The older Apache man looked down at her from the ridge, eyes cold as flint. He didn't seem surprised she was gone. He seemed annoyed that someone else had taken what he left behind. The man in the vest spoke first, voice smooth. "Afternoon, cowboy," he called. "Seems you found something that doesn't belong to you." The cowboy said nothing. He measured the distance between them, the slope, the rocks that could serve as cover. His hand rested on the worn leather near his holster, but he didn't draw. "Girl," the white man went on, "you've caused quite a stir. You were supposed to be taken care of." Quietly, the girl trembled. "He sold me," she whispered. "Then changed his mind." "How much?" the cowboy asked, eyes never leaving the ridge. The man in the vest smiled thinly. "More than you've got in that saddlebags, friend. She's trouble, half from a world that doesn't want her, half from one that wants her gone. Best thing is to let us handle it." "She's a child," the cowboy said. "A debt," the man corrected. "A walking debt." The girl flinched at the word. The older Apache man spoke at last, his English rough but clear. "She brings curse," he said. "Bad luck, bad blood. I cut her loose. You do the same." The cowboy felt anger heat his chest, slow and steady. "You tied her," he said, "and dumped her with garbage." "She's still breathing, isn't she?" the white man replied. "That was my condition. No killing, just removal, clean and simple." The cowboy's jaw tightened. "Your condition?" "I own her father's land note," the man said, waving the folded paper. "He pays, or I take everything. He couldn't pay. So we made another arrangement." The girl squeezed her eyes shut, as if shutting out the sound could undo the deal. The cowboy shifted in the saddle, keeping his voice calm. "Whatever you agreed doesn't bind me." "That's where you're wrong," the man answered. "You're interfering with property." The word hung heavy between them. The cowboy leaned forward slightly. "She ain't property." The man in the vest chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You got a preacher's heart and a ranch hand's pay. That's a dangerous mix." He nodded toward the girl. "Hand her back. We'll make sure she disappears somewhere no one has to feel sorry about it." The girl's whisper barely reached him. "Please," she said, "don't let him." He felt the plea like a hand around his ribs. He shifted his weight and let the horse sidestep, putting rock between them and the ridge. "You want her," he said. "You come down and take her. I'd like to see you try." The man in the vest hesitated. His type preferred papers and threats to dust and bullets. The father's grip tightened on the rifle, but his eyes flicked to the cowboy's worn holster and steady stance. "This isn't wise," the white man warned. "I've got the law behind me. I walk into town, show them this note, and they'll come knocking on whatever shack you hide her in." "Then I better not be in a shack," the cowboy replied. The father spoke again, voice low, almost pleading. "Girl," he called, "you come back now. This man will bleed for you, leave him. I owe too much already." Her shoulders curled inward. "You already paid," she said softly. "With me." A flicker of shame crossed the older man's face, gone as fast as it came. The cowboy nudged the horse backward, inch by inch. "You two can argue debts all day," he said, "but we're leaving." "You take one more step," the man in the vest said, "and I swear I'll see you in irons." "Then get yourself a strong sheriff," the cowboy answered. "You'll need him." For a long moment, no one moved. The wind picked up, tugging at coats, lifting dust into the air like fog. The father's rifle never rose. The white man never drew. They stood on their ridge of paper power, and he sat on his horse of worn leather and tired bone, with a terrified girl pressed against his chest. Slowly, he pulled the reins and turned the horse away. The girl held her breath until the ridge fell out of sight. Only then did she whisper, "They'll follow." "Maybe," he said. "They always do." He listened to the steady beat of the horse's hooves. "We'll stay ahead," he replied. She twisted slightly, just enough to see his face. "You don't even know my name," she said. "Don't need it to keep you safe," he answered. She was quiet a moment. "Do you have one?" she asked. "Name?" "Yes," he nodded. "Haven't used it much." "Why?" she said. "Names tie you to places," he replied. "I keep moving." She thought about that, then whispered, "If I stay, will you stop moving?" The question struck deeper than any threat from the ridge. He didn't answer. Not yet. The sun dipped lower behind them, the sky turning the color of old blood. Ahead, the land opened into a wide valley, with a narrow trail leading toward a small, lonely ridge in the distance. His cabin sat there, half hidden by scrub and rock, too poor for thieves and too far for casual visits. "We'll rest there," he said. "You'll have a roof tonight." "And tomorrow?" she asked. "Tomorrow we see," he replied. By the time they reached the ridge, night had begun to press in. Coyotes called in the distance, their cries thin and hungry. He helped her down, guiding her up the short path toward the crooked doorway. Inside, the air smelled of cold ashes and old leather, A single chair, a narrow bed, a rough-hewn table. Nothing more. "It's small," he said, "but it's quiet." "Quiet is good," she whispered. He lit a lamp, soft glow pushing back the dark. For the first time since he'd found her, he saw her face clearly. There was dirt, yes, and bruises, but there was also something else. A stubborn line in her jaw, a fire that hadn't gone out. He reached for a blanket hanging from a nail. "You take the bed," he said. "I'll sleep near the door." "You're worried," she said, "about them." "I'm careful," he replied. She pulled the blanket around her shoulders and sank onto the edge of the mattress, fingers tracing the worn fabric. "You think they'll come tonight?" He listened to the wind scraping against the walls. "Men who talk like that," he said, "don't like being refused." "And my father?" she asked. "He's got more ghosts than bullets," he answered. "But ghosts travel far." Silence settled between them, heavy but less lonely than before. He checked his gun, set it within reach, and slid down with his back to the door, boots still on. Outside, the coyotes quieted. The girl lay down, eyes fixed on the ceiling. She had just begun to drift towards something like sleep when the night split with a single unhollow sound, a firm, deliberate knock on the cabin door. The knock echoed through the cabin like a gunshot. The girl bolted upright, clutching the blanket to her chest. The cowboy raised one hand, telling her not to move, and stood slowly. He didn't reach for his gun yet. He wanted to know the weight behind that knock, the rhythm of it, whether it came from fear, authority, or something worse. A second knock followed, slower this time, more deliberate. The girl's voice shook. "It's him." "Maybe," the cowboy murmured. "Maybe not." He stepped toward the door, boots silent on the rough floor. The lantern flickered, shadows stretching across the cabin walls. The girl watched him, her breath thin and fast. "Stay behind the bed," he said softly. She slid off the mattress and crouched low, gripping the blanket like a shield. The cowboy pressed his hand flat against the door. "Who's there?" a man's voice answered, calm and steady. "Evening. I'm the deputy from town. Got a matter needs talking." The cowboy narrowed his eyes. "What matter?" "A girl," the deputy said. "Young one. Apache. Folks say she's missing." The cowboy glanced at the girl. She shook her head fiercely, mouthing, "No, no, no." "Missing," the cowboy repeated, "or thrown away." A pause. Then, "Best I tell it proper." The cowboy unlocked only the top latch and cracked the door an inch. The deputy stood outside with hands visible, lantern in one, badge on his chest, catching the moonlight. He wasn't the man in the vest. He wasn't the father, but he wasn't a friend either. "Mind if I step inside?" the deputy asked. "I mind," the cowboy replied. The deputy sighed. "Look, I ain't here to take her. I'm here to get ahead of a problem." "What problem?" the cowboy asked. "Her father's in town raising dust," the deputy said. "Says she's been stolen. Says a cowboy dragged her off." The cowboy's jaw tightened. "She walked onto my trail, crying, hurt, tied up." "Not saying I believe him," the deputy answered, "but men like him don't need truth to start trouble." The cowboy stepped outside, closing the door behind him just enough so the girl could breathe but not be seen. "Why come here?" "Because the man with him," the deputy said, lowering his voice. "The one in the vest, he's worse." The cowboy didn't flinch. He showed a note. The deputy nodded. "I've seen it. Land debt. Ugly thing. They're using it to move her like cattle." "She's no cattle." "No," the deputy said. "She ain't, but some men in town think she is." The cowboy stared past the deputy, scanning the ridge. "You alone?" "For now," the deputy said, "but the pair of them left town 10 minutes after I did. They ain't far, and they ain't coming to talk." "Inside the cabin," the girl whispered. "They're coming." The cowboy didn't answer. "Not yet." "You keeping her safe?" the deputy asked. The cowboy nodded once. "Then you'll need a plan," the deputy said. "That father, he's scared. Scared men shoot wild." "And the other one?" the cowboy asked. "He's not scared," the deputy replied. "He's collecting." A long silence settled, cold and heavy. "You telling me to run?" the cowboy asked. "I'm telling you the law can be bent," the deputy replied. But bullets don't bend. If you stay, you fight. If you go, you might buy time. The cowboy considered it. His cabin was small, the land wide. Running meant tracks. Tracks meant pursuit. And pursuit meant the girl would never sleep easy again. "Thank you," the cowboy said. "You ain't heard what I came for," the deputy said. He reached into his coat and pulled out a folded piece of paper. "This here's a church record. Says her mother belonged to a mission settlement south of here. Says the girl is theirs, not her father's." The cowboy blinked. "You sure?" "Sure enough," the deputy said. "She's no man's property." That truth hit harder than any threat. "You show this in town?" the cowboy asked. The deputy shook his head. "Not yet. Paper alone won't stop him. He wants control. And the man in the vest wants payment." Inside, the girl crawled closer to the door, listening. The deputy stepped back from the porch. "I'll circle the ridge. Buy you a few minutes. After that, I can't do much." "You've done enough," the cowboy said. The deputy gave a small nod. "You take care of her, cowboy." As he disappeared into the brush, the cowboy closed the door and turned to the girl. She searched his face desperately. "What did he say?" she whispered. "He said you're free," the cowboy answered. She shook her head in disbelief. "Not to them." "No," he agreed softly. "Not to them." She looked at him with something new in her eyes. Not trust, not yet, but the first shape of hope. "What do we do now?" she asked. He checked the window, scanned the darkness. "We get ready." "For what?" she whispered. He picked up his rifle, checked the chamber, and set it beside the door. "For whoever's coming up that trail," he said. As if on cue, the wind shifted. Hoofbeats echoed faintly through the night. Slow, steady, getting closer. The hoofbeats grew clearer, separating into two distinct rhythms, one slow and heavy, the other sharp and impatient. The girl moved closer to the cowboy, hands trembling as she gripped the blanket. He motioned her behind the table and doused the lantern with a quick breath, letting darkness settle thick around them. "Stay low," he whispered. "I'm scared," she murmured. "I know," he said softly. "Stay quiet now." Outside, the riders stopped. Leather creaked. Spurs jingled. A horse snorted in irritation. Then a familiar voice cut through the night, smooth, controlled, too confident to be alone. "Cowboy," the man in the vest called. "I know you're inside. Doors thin. Walls thinner." The girl clasped her hands, knuckles white. The cowboy moved one step toward the window, eyes locked on the faint silhouettes outside. "You don't want to do this," he said. "We already are," the man replied. "Bring her out." "No," the cowboy said. A second voice followed, her father's, rough, strained, carrying guilt barely buried under anger. "Girl," he shouted, "you come out now. You hear me? You come." She shook her head violently, breathing fast. The cowboy whispered, "He can't reach you." "He always does," she whispered back. The man in the vest shifted in his saddle. "Let's keep this simple," he said. "I get the girl. You get to live quiet. No fuss. No law." "There's law already," the cowboy answered. The man laughed. "Paper law, slow law. I'm the fast kind." A cold silence followed. The cowboy edged toward the window and cracked the shutters just enough to see the ridge. 2 horses, 2 men. No deputy. He frowned. Where had the deputy gone? "You said she's a det," the cowboy called out. "But she's not." "That's so?" the man asked. "I've got proof," he replied. "What kind of proof?" the man demanded. "Enough to ruin your claim." A long pause. Then the man's voice lowered. "Bring it out." "No," the cowboy said. "I keep it." "Then I take it," the man replied. A cocking sound echoed. Metal pulled back with purpose. The girl's breath hitched. She pressed herself against the table leg, eyes squeezed shut. The cowboy leaned close to her. "Listen carefully," he whispered. "If they rush the door, you crawl under the bed. Don't stop. Don't look." "I don't want to leave you," she whispered. "You won't," he said. "Just move if I say move." Outside, her father spoke again, voice cracking under years of weight. "Girl, I didn't want this. I had no choice." "Yes, you did," she whispered. tears running down her cheeks. The cowboy felt the words hit him like a stone. The man in the vest cleared his throat. "Last chance, cowboy. Step out with her. We end this easy." "You don't know easy," the cowboy replied. He moved to the door, rifle angled low. Inside, he stayed calm. Outside, he was counting breaths, distance, footing, angles. He didn't want blood on his doorstep, but he'd spill it before letting them take her. "You ready?" he asked the girl quietly. "No," she whispered. "That's close enough," he said. Outside, gravel shifted. A saddle strap tightened. A horse pawed the ground. Then, a sharp whistle cut the night. Not from the cowboy, not from the men outside. From somewhere off to the left, beyond the brush. The horses reared slightly. Startled, the man in the vest cursed. "Who's there?" The cowboy's pulse jumped. The deputy. Another threat. Branches cracked. Footsteps approached. Steady, unhurried. For a moment, no one spoke. Then a voice rose from the darkness, older, deeper, carrying the weight of many winters. "She is not yours," the voice said. Her father's breath caught. "No, no, not you." The girl went pale. "Who is that?" The cowboy peered through the cracks. A lone figure emerged from the shadows, an Apache elder with braided grey hair, wearing a worn deer-hide coat. He carried no rifle, only a carved walking staff. The father stared, fear mixing with shame. "Uncle," he whispered. The elder looked down at him with cold disappointment. "You broke oath," he said. "You broke blood," the man in the vest scoffed. "And who are you supposed to be?" The elder's gaze snapped to him like a blade. "The one who decides her place," he said. "Not you, not any white man with paper lies." The cowboy watched carefully. This could turn the tide or ignite the whole valley. "What do you want?" the man in the vest demanded. The elder raised his staff. "The girl returns to her mother's people, not to a man who sold her. Not to a stranger who hunts her." The girl's breath quickened. "My mother," she whispered. "Alive?" the cowboy asked quietly. "We do not know," the elder said, "but the girl belongs with us." Her father lowered his head. "I tried," he murmured. "No," the elder said. "You tried to hide your sin." The cowboy felt the girl's fingers clutch his coat. "Don't let them take me," she whispered. "Please." Outside, tension crackled like lightning trapped in dry brush. The man in the vest spat in the dirt. "No one's leaving till I get what's owed." The elder tapped the ground with his staff. "Then you will bleed for it." The cowboy stepped forward, hand tightening on the rifle. "Enough," he said, but it was too late. A gun cocked. A staff lifted. A horse screamed. And then, a single shot split the night. The shot tore through the night, echoing across the ridge like thunder trapped in a tin can. The girl screamed and dropped to the floor, covering her head. The cowboy lunged toward the window, rifle raised, eyes scanning the dark for the shooter. But no one had fallen. The elder still stood, staff firm in his grip. The man in the vest jerked back in surprise, patting his chest as if expecting a wound. The father staggered sideways, clutching his shoulder, but his hand found only cloth. The bullet had hit none of them. Instead, it lodged deep into the doorframe, inches from where the girl's head had been moments earlier. "Inside!" the cowboy barked, turning toward her. "Stay down!" "I am!" she cried. Outside, chaos erupted. "Who fired?" the man in the vest yelled. "Not me," the father shouted, scrambling behind his horse. "It came from the ridge," the elder growled. The cowboy scanned the shadows. Someone else was out there, someone not seen, not heard until now. A second shot ripped through the air, striking the dirt near the man in the vest's boots. He yelped and dove behind a rock. "Who's shooting at us?" he shouted angrily. The elder planted his staff. "Not one of mine." The cowboy opened the cabin door just enough to shout out, "Deputy, that you?" Silence. The girl crawled toward him, eyes wide. "He left us," she whispered. "He said he'd help, but he left." "He wouldn't shoot blind," the cowboy said. "This ain't him." Another bullet cracked overhead, sending splinters from the porch beam raining down. The cowboy shut the door, fast. "Someone wants all of us dead." "Why?" the girl whispered. "Because dead stories don't talk," he answered. She covered her mouth, trembling. Outside, the man in the vest growled at the father. "You said no one else knew." "I told no one," the father insisted. "Someone followed you," the elder said. "Someone hungry for coin or vengeance." A sharp whistle came from the ridge, a signal, unmistakable and cold. The cowboy's eyes narrowed. "Bounty hunter." The girl's breath caught. "For me?" "No," he said. "For the men chasing you. But bounty hunters don't ask questions before firing." The horses outside reared in panic. Hooves thundered. Metal clanked. Then a voice rose from the darkness, a deep, taunting drawl. "Price doubled if I bring her back breathing," it called. "But I ain't paid to bring the rest of you at all," the father cursed. "You sold us out." "I didn't," the man in the vest hissed. Another bullet struck a rock near the father's feet, and he leapt behind his horse with a cry. The cowboy turned to the girl. "We need to move." "I can't," she whispered. "My legs." "You can," he said, reaching down to lift her gently. "How you've made it this far." She steadied herself, gripping his shirt. "Where?" "Back door," he said. "Cut across the ridge. Stay low." "What about them?" she asked, glancing at the men outside. "They chose their path," he answered. "We choose ours." But before he could open the back door, a shadow passed across the window. Someone was circling the cabin. The cowboy grabbed the girl's hand. "Under the bed now." "No," she whispered. "Not without you." "I'll be right behind," he said. "Go." She crawled under just as the window shattered, glass flying inward as a boot crashed through the frame. A large man hauled himself inside, coat torn, shotgun in hand, face twisted with greed. The bounty hunter. He saw the cowboy and grinned. "Heard you picked up something valuable." The cowboy stepped between the man and the bed. "You don't want this fight." "Oh, I do," the hunter said. "Dead men don't talk. Hand she fetches a fine price." The cowboy tightened his grip on the rifle. "Not today." The hunter stepped forward. "Move, or I move you." "No," the cowboy said. The girl trembled under the bed, fingers digging into the wood. Outside, the elder shouted something in Apache, warning or prayer the cowboy couldn't tell. The bounty hunter lunged. The cowboy blocked the swing of the shotgun, the force knocking him against the table. Wood splintered. Dust filled the air. He shoved back hard, striking the hunter across the jaw with the rifle stock. The hunter roared and swung again. The cowboy ducked, but the blow caught his shoulder, sending a shock of pain down his arm. He stumbled. The hunter raised the shotgun, ready to end it. Then a sound froze them both. The girl cried out from under the bed, not in pain, not in fear, but in recognition. A single word left her throat, trembling, broken, impossible. A name. The cowboy's blood ran cold. The bounty hunter turned toward the sound. "You know me?" he asked, voice shifting. The girl's answer quivered with a truth none of them expected. "Yes, you're my brother." The room froze. Even the dust hanging in the air seemed to stop moving. The bounty hunter lowered the shotgun an inch, staring at the girl beneath the bed, as though he were seeing a ghost rise out of the earth. "What did you say?" he asked, voice lower now, rougher. The girl pushed herself backward, her shoulders trembling. "You're my brother," she whispered. "I know your voice." The bounty hunter's jaw clenched. His eyes darted between her and the cowboy, anger and confusion twisting together like barbed wire. "You don't know me," the hunter snapped. "Yes," she said softly, "I do." The cowboy shifted, placing himself between them again. "Step back," he warned. The hunter scoffed. "You tell me to step back after she calls me kin." "Blood don't justify bullets," the cowboy said. The hunter's grip on the shotgun tightened. "She can't be my kin. My sister died years back. Father told me." The girl crawled out just enough that the lantern's faint glow reached her face. Her eyes shimmered with tears. "Father lied," she whispered. "He lies about everything." Outside, the father cursed under his breath. "Girl, be silent." She flinched. The cowboy turned sharply toward the door. "You want her quiet so your sins stay buried." "You don't know our ways," the father growled. "I know cruelty when I see it," the cowboy replied. The elder spoke from beyond the broken window. "Boy," he called to the hunter, Your father hid much. More than you can bear. The hunter snapped back. Old man, don't poison me with riddles. No riddles, the elder said. Truth you were kept from. The cowboy glanced at the girl. Tell him, he whispered. She drew in a shaky breath. You left before I could walk, she said. Father said you were gone, said you took the good blood with you. The hunter swallowed hard, and he told me you were buried, that the sickness took you. The girl shook her head, tears slipping free. He tied me, he left me, not sickness. A flicker of pain crossed the hunter's face, real pain, sharp and sudden, as though something cracked deep inside him. Father, he growled, turning toward the door. What did you do? The father barked. Enough! You don't question me. You said she died, the hunter snapped. She should have, the father shouted. She shamed us. The girl recoiled. The cowboy's hand tightened around his rifle, fury rising like heat off the desert floor. The elder stepped closer to the window. She carries her mother's blood, he said. The blood your father tried to erase. The bounty hunter's breathing grew heavier. Mother's blood, he repeated. Her blood was pure. The father slapped his saddle angrily. Not that girl's. Her mother was broken, tainted. The elder slammed his staff against the ground. Enough lies, the girl whispered. My mother was kind. She was, the elder said softly. And her daughter carries her heart. The bounty hunter stared at the girl again, really seeing her now, the shape of her jaw, the line of her cheek, the familiar tilt of her brow. His shotgun lowered another inch. Father said you were cursed, he murmured. She was abandoned, the elder corrected. The cowboy stepped forward. You shoot her. You shoot your own blood. The hunter's breath hitched. His hands shook. I didn't come to kill kin, he said quietly. She isn't kin, the father growled. She is, the hunter said, voice breaking. I hear it. I see it. That don't change what must be done, the father roared. The girl flinched again at the volume. The cowboy turned toward the door, anger sharpening his voice. You will not touch her again. The father spat. You think you can protect her? You think you can stand against me? I already am, the cowboy said. The hunter swallowed hard, torn between two worlds, duty and truth, blood and bloodshed. I came for a bounty, he said slowly, not a family war. The father snarled. You obey me? No, the hunter whispered. Not anymore. Outside, a horse shifted nervously. The man in the vest cursed softly, realizing he was losing control of the entire night. This is slipping, he hissed. We need the girl. We need the claim. Stop waiting. He reached for his pistol. The cowboy saw it through the window crack. Down! He shouted. The hunter spun, pointing the shotgun toward the man in the vest. Don't! He warned. You won't shoot! The man in the vest sneered. The hunter's finger trembled on the trigger. Try me! But the father moved faster. He grabbed the reins, swung his leg over the saddle, and kicked his horse hard. The animal lunged forward, carrying him straight toward the broken cabin window. The cowboy jerked the girl back. The horse thundered closer. The father raised his rifle. The elder shouted a warning, and the bounty hunter turned his aim toward his own father. But before he could fire, another shot ripped through the night, and the lantern beside the girl exploded into flames. The lantern burst into fire, sending sparks across the floorboards. The girl screamed and stumbled back toward the bed as blazing oil spilled in a crooked line toward her feet. The cowboy grabbed the blanket from her shoulders and slammed it over the flames, smothering them with fast, sharp movements. Stay behind me, he barked. I'm trying, she cried, coughing from the smoke. Outside, the father's horse skidded to a halt near the shattered window. The father raised his rifle toward the cabin, but before he could fire, the bounty hunter sprinted forward and shoved the barrel upward. Stop! The hunter yelled. You'll hit her. She's my burden, the father snarled. She's our blood, the hunter shot back. The man in the vest hissed with frustration and aimed his pistol at both of them. Enough family talk. Bring me the girl. No, the bounty hunter said. The cowboy shoved the last embers aside with his boot. You all right? He asked the girl. She nodded weakly. He tried to burn me. No, the cowboy said. He tried to scare us. Burning kills the truth. She looked up at him, fear shifting into something steadier. "I want to live." "You will," he answered. Outside, the elder raised his staff. "This ends now." The man in the vest pointed his pistol at the elder. "Old man, you're first." "Don't," the hunter warned, stepping between them. The father yanked his reins again. "Move, boy, that girl is trouble." "She's not trouble," the hunter said quietly. "She's everything you hid from me," the father snarled. "She weakens us. Weak blood ruins the strong." The cowboy's voice cut through the window. "Weakness ain't in her." The elder nodded. "Weakness is the man who fears his child." The father snapped back. "You know nothing." The hunter turned, voice trembling. "Did you tie her? Dump her? Tell me truth." The father's jaw tightened. "I did what needed doing." The hunter lowered his shotgun, devastated. "You lied to me," he whispered. "About her, about Mother." "She was tainted," the father shouted. "No," the elder said. "She was pure. You feared her strength, as you fear the girl's." The girl trembled harder. "Why does he hate me?" she whispered. "Because you remind him," the elder said, "of everything he failed." The cowboy placed a hand on her shoulder, steady and warm. "Hear me," he said softly. "You ain't the shame in this story." Her breath caught. "Then what am I?" "Hope," he said. She blinked at that, surprised, almost disbelieving. Outside, tension snapped like a pulled wire. The father raised his rifle again. "If she stays alive, she ruins us." "Us," the hunter echoed bitterly. "There is no us." A split second of silence followed, the kind that comes right before something breaks. Then the father jerked the trigger. The cowboy saw the barrel flash through the window. "Down!" he yelled, pulling the girl with him. The rifle cracked, but the shot didn't hit the cabin. The hunter had slammed into the rifle, deflecting the aim. The bullet tore into the horse's flank instead. The animal screamed and bucked violently, throwing the father from the saddle. The father hit the ground hard, groaning as dust billowed around him. The girl gasped. "Is he dead?" "No," the cowboy whispered. "But close to learning." The man in the vest looked around wildly. "All of you are fools. She's worth more than this." The hunter turned toward him. "Not to me." "You'll lose money," the man spat. "I'll lose myself if I keep going," the hunter answered. For the first time, his voice sounded almost human, but the man in the vest wasn't done. He reached into his coat and pulled out another pistol, small, gleaming, easy to hide. He aimed at the cabin window. The cowboy grabbed the girl and rolled behind the table. Splinters flew as bullets tore through the wood. The elder dove behind a rock. "Cowboy!" he shouted. "Move her!" "I'm trying!" the cowboy shouted back. The girl cried, "I'm scared." "I know," he said. "Stay with me." He peeked through the shattered window. The man in the vest was advancing, pistol steady, eyes cold. The hunter moved to block him. "Don't," the hunter warned. "Move," the man snarled. "She's family. She's profit," the cowboy hissed. "He'll shoot him." He stood, lifted his rifle. But before he could sight the shot, something unexpected happened. The girl stood. She stepped into the faint moonlight, trembling but determined. "Stop hurting each other," she said. Her voice wasn't loud, but it landed like thunder. The man in the vest blinked. The hunter froze. Even the father, struggling to rise, went silent. The cowboy whispered harshly, "Get back." But she didn't. She walked 3 steps forward, blanket dragging behind her, chin lifted despite the fear shaking her bones. "You want me," she said to the man in the vest, "but I'm not yours. I belong to no man." The man's jaw tightened. "Girl," "And you," she said, turning to her father, "you threw me away, but you don't decide my worth." A flicker, hope or pain, crossed the hunter's face. The elder whispered, "Her mother speaks through her." The girl swallowed hard. "I choose who I walk with." The cowboy felt something tighten in his chest. The girl took a breath, and suddenly a shadow moved behind her. Someone had climbed onto the cabin roof. Boots slid on wood. Dust fell. Then a figure dropped behind her, knife drawn, a third killer. Silent. Unseen. The cowboy shouted, but the blade was already swinging toward her throat. The blade flashed as it dropped toward her throat. The cowboy lunged, grabbing her arm and yanking her backward just as the knife sliced through the air where she'd stood moments before. She stumbled into his chest, breath shattering in a panicked gasp. "Down!" he shouted. The attacker landed in a crouch, dark coat whipping behind him, face hidden under a split-brim hat. He moved like someone used to killing quietly. Someone used to being unseen until the blade found its mark. The girl clung to the cowboy. "Who is he?" she whispered. "Not sure," he muttered, lifting his rifle. "Oh, I know him," the man in the vest snarled. "Shadow runner, hired blade, expensive." The assassin's voice was cold and even. "The girl is the contract, nothing else matters." The hunter stepped forward, shotgun raised. "She's blood. Back off." The assassin didn't even look his way. "Blood doesn't cancel coin." The father groaned from the dirt, trying to rise. "I didn't hire him." "No," the elder said sharply. "Someone else wants her gone." "Who?" the cowboy asked. The elder's expression darkened. "A man afraid of her mother's truth." The girl's breathing hitched. "Mother's truth? No time," the cowboy whispered. The assassin moved first, fast, silent, deadly. He darted toward them, knife flashing. The cowboy shoved the girl behind the overturned table and swung the rifle stock at the attacker's wrist. Metal clanged. Sparks flew. The assassin hissed and slashed again. "Stay back," the cowboy warned. "I finish this," the assassin replied. The hunter sprinted in, aiming the shotgun low. "Don't touch her!" He fired. The blast hit the ground, spraying dirt and rock. The assassin rolled, fast as a whipcrack, and kicked the shotgun from the hunter's hands. It skidded across the ground. The father called weakly, "Boy, stop him!" "I'm trying," the hunter snapped. The man in the vest shouted, "Kill her now, before more trouble comes." The assassin nodded once and charged again. The girl screamed, "Cowboy!" He pushed her back. "Run, behind the cabin." "I'm scared." "Run anyway." She darted toward the rear doorway, blanket trailing like a shadow. The assassin changed direction instantly, sprinting after her. "No!" the cowboy yelled, firing a shot. The bullet grazed the assassin's shoulder. He staggered but didn't stop. His knife swung upward, ready to strike. The hunter threw himself between them, grabbing the assassin's arm. "She's my sister." "Move!" the assassin growled. "No." They struggled, boots digging into dirt, the knife turning dangerously close between them. The elder shouted, "Do not spill kin blood." But the assassin twisted free and slammed the hunter into the cabin wall. The hunter gasped, collapsing to one knee. The girl froze halfway through the doorway. "Brother!" He lifted his head, pained. "Run, please!" The words broke something in her. The cowboy rushed forward, grabbing the assassin from behind. They crashed to the ground, rolling through dust and broken glass. The knife slashed the cowboy's coat, slicing the leather open. The assassin growled, "You interfere in every direction." The cowboy grunted, "I do." They struggled, fists and elbows cracking into ribs and jaws. The assassin fought like a man born without mercy. "Finish it," the man in the vest shouted. "I'll pay triple." The father groaned. "No, leave her." "Oh, now you care," the cowboy muttered, dodging a stab. The assassin pinned him down, knife lifting. Then the girl screamed, voice raw. "Stop!" Everyone froze. Even the assassin hesitated. Her eyes, dark, fierce, terrified, locked onto his. "I don't want more death," she cried. "Not for me." Something in the assassin's jaw twitched. "Death follows truth." "Then I'll carry it," she said, "but not by you." The cowboy seized the moment. He kicked upward, knocking the assassin off balance. They both scrambled to their feet. The assassin snarled, "You delay the inevitable." "Good," the cowboy said. "I like delays." The elder stepped closer, raising his staff. "You touch the girl again," he warned, "and the spirits mark your shadow forever." The assassin paused, just long enough for the hunter to grab the shotgun from the dirt. "Don't move," the hunter rasped. The assassin turned slowly, knife still raised. "Don't," the girl pleaded. "Please don't kill him." The hunter's hands trembled. "He tried to kill you." "He didn't succeed," she whispered. The cowboy stepped to her side. "She's right. Don't make her first act of hope into a killing." The hunter's fingers loosened. The barrel dipped. For the first time all night, silence fell without violence inside it. The assassin stared at the ground, chest heaving. The contract remains. No, the elder said. The contract ends. By who? The assassin growled. By truth, the elder answered. The cowboy frowned. What truth? The elder met his eyes. The girl's mother didn't die, he said softly. She was taken, and the man who took her is coming. The girl's knees buckled. Mother, alive? The elder nodded once. The cowboy tightened his grip on his rifle. Who took her? The elder looked toward the far horizon, a long stretch of darkness beyond the hills. A man who wants the girl, he said, for what she is, for what she carries. The cowboy felt the cold settle in his spine. What does she carry? The elder answered with a voice that seemed older than the land. Her mother's gift. The assassin, the hunter, the father, even the man in the vest, all froze at those words. The girl's whisper barely rose to air. What gift? The elder lifted his staff. The kind men kill for, he said, and the kind that ruins kingdoms. Before anyone could speak again, a long horn call echoed from the distant ridge, low, haunting, rolling like thunder across the valley. A signal. Someone far away had found them. Someone coming fast. The horn call rolled across the valley, low and trembling like the earth itself warning them. Everyone in the clearing turned toward the sound. Even the assassin, usually unreadable, stiffened as if recognizing the signal. The girl whispered, "Who is that?" The elder gripped his staff. "The man who took your mother." The cowboy felt her lean into him, shaking. "Stay close," he whispered. "Is he coming for me?" she asked. "Yes," the elder said. "He believes you carry what she carried." The man in the vest scoffed, trying to regain control. "This is nonsense. A horn means nothing." The assassin turned his head slowly. "That horn belongs to a war scout." The vest man paled. "Apache?" "No," the elder said. "Worse." The girl clutched the cowboy's sleeve. "Tell me, please." The elder inhaled. "Your mother was born with sight." The cowboy frowned. "Sight. Vision before storm," the elder said. "Warnings the land whispers. She saw danger long before it walked." "That's superstition," the vest man snapped. The elder didn't even look at him. She saved many lives with her warnings. But one man saw profit. He stole her to keep her visions for himself. The hunter swallowed. "He kept her." "Yes," the elder said. "And when she bore a child, he feared the child would carry the same gift." The girl trembled harder. "Me?" The elder nodded. "Your father feared it too. That is why he abandoned you. He believed men would hunt you." The father groaned on the ground. "I tried to protect us." "By throwing her away," the cowboy growled. "You don't understand," the father cried. "Visions bring death. They bring hunters." "Hunters found you anyway," the cowboy said. A second horn call answered the first, closer now, sharper, echoing off stone like a blade slicing sky. The assassin tensed. "They're flanking." "Who?" the cowboy asked. "A scouting band," the assassin muttered. "5, maybe more. They travel light. They kill fast." The hunter looked terrified. "Do they know about her?" "They know the horn," the assassin said. "That's enough." The girl backed into the cowboy, eyes wide. "What do they want?" "You," the elder said. "Alive." The cowboy placed himself in front of her. "Over my body," the elder nodded. "Likely over many." The man in the vest hissed, "We need to leave, right now." "No," the cowboy said. "We need to prepare." The assassin stepped forward. "If they come, the cabin won't hold." "We move her?" the cowboy asked. "We should," the hunter said. "No," the elder answered. "The ridge will trap you. They will circle." "So what then?" the cowboy asked. "We stand," the elder said simply. The vest man sputtered. "Stand? Against killers? Are you mad?" The elder raised his staff. "Madness is thinking you can run from wind. It finds you." The girl's voice trembled. "Why now? Why did they find us?" "You walked into truth," the elder said. Truth lights a fire men can track. The cowboy met her eyes. This isn't your fault. She nodded weakly, tears slipping down her cheeks. Everything feels like my fault. No, he said, voice low. Everything feels like your past. This is your future. She clung to his sleeve. I don't want to die. You're not dying, he said. The hunter stepped closer. I'll help protect her. The father rasped. You can't protect her. I can try, the hunter replied. The assassin looked at the girl, then away. I finish my contract. No, the elder said sharply. Your contract ended when truth was spoken. The assassin's jaw flexed. I work alone. You work for coin, the elder said. Tonight, coin is worthless. From the far end of the valley, a third horn call rose, longer, deeper, rolling like a storm gathering speed. The cowboy whispered, They're close. The assassin said, Minutes, maybe less. The hunter swallowed hard. We need a plan. The cowboy turned to them, voice even. You three take the girl inside, fortify the back. And you? The hunter asked. I hold the front. No, the girl cried, grabbing his coat. Don't leave me. He knelt, cupping her face gently. I won't leave, but I need to draw them first. She shook her head violently. They'll kill you. Not if I stand right, he said softly. The elder placed a hand on her shoulder. Child, sometimes one man standing can turn a river. She sobbed once, then nodded. The cowboy stood. Hunter, take your shotgun. Assassin, guard the back windows. Elder, stay with her. And me, the vest man stammered. The cowboy didn't even look at him. Stay out of the way. They hurried into position. The girl lingered at the doorway, hand gripping the frame as though letting go would break her. Come back, she whispered. He touched the brim of his hat. Count on it. He stepped onto the porch. Wind whipped dust across his boots. The moonlight stretched long shadows toward him, then a flicker of movement on the ridge, a silhouette on horseback, another, 5 shapes, then 7, then more. The horn sounded one final time, and the leader, a tall rider with a wolf pelt draped across his shoulders, raised a spear toward the cabin and shouted a command in a language the cowboy didn't recognize. Every horse surged forward at once, charging straight toward him. The thunder of hooves shook the earth as the riders charged. Dust rose in a thick wave, swallowing the moonlight. The cowboy planted his boots, rifle leveled, heart pounding in a steady, unbroken rhythm. He'd faced gunmen before, he'd faced outlaws, but he'd never faced a full scouting band hungry for a stolen prophecy. Inside the cabin, the girl pressed both hands to the window. Cowboy, she cried. Come inside. He didn't answer. He needed his voice steady, breath calm, aim true. The hunter clutched his shotgun. We need to help him. The assassin grabbed his arm. If you run out, you die. I won't let him face them alone, the hunter snapped. You'll be dead before crossing the porch, the assassin said. Think. The elder pulled the girl back from the window. Child, stay low. I can't, she whispered. He's out there for me. He knows why, the elder said softly. Outside, the riders fanned out. Their formation was tight, practiced, deadly. The leader raised his spear. Its tip glinted silver beneath the stars. The cowboy whispered to himself, Just breathe. The first rider rushed him. The cowboy fired. The horse jerked sideways, screaming. The rider fell, rolling through dust. A second rider veered left. The cowboy swung the rifle hard, striking the man's jaw as he passed. The impact sent the man tumbling. A third rider came straight for him. The cowboy ducked beneath the swinging club and fired upward. The rider toppled from the saddle. 3 down. Too many left. Inside him the girl cried, Stop fighting. Please stop. The elder held her shoulders. Your fear feeds them. Breathe. The girl trembled. I can't lose him. You won't, the elder said, though his voice betrayed doubt. The hunter cursed. We can't just watch. The assassin stepped forward, eyes locked on the window. We move when he breaks the line. Breaks the line? The hunter echoed. He'll be broken first? The cowboy braced as 2 riders circled him, kicking dust into his eyes. One swung a weighted chain. It wrapped around the cowboy's rifle, ripping it from his hands. He stumbled back, blinking through grit. The chain rider smirked, unarmed now. The cowboy wiped blood from his brow. Not quite. He grabbed a fallen spear from the ground. The rider laughed. You don't know our weapons. No, the cowboy said, gripping tight. But I know yours. He swung the spear shaft and cracked the rider across the throat. The man fell gasping. Another rider jumped from his horse and charged on foot. The cowboy dodged, slammed the spear butt into the man's ribs, and sent him sprawling. But the riders kept coming. Inside, the girl pressed her forehead to the wall. He's going to die. No, the hunter said, gripping his shotgun. Not while I'm breathing. The assassin stepped in front of him. Wait for the break. Break, the hunter barked. He's being surrounded. The elder lifted his staff. The break comes when truth shakes fear. Outside, the cowboy staggered as a stone club slammed into his shoulder. Pain shot down his arm. He dropped to one knee. The girl screamed. Cowboy! He forced himself up. Two riders dismounted. They approached with slow, deliberate steps. Hand us the girl, one growled, or we drag you to dust. The cowboy spat blood. She stays free. She is marked, the rider said. She sees storms before they rise. She don't owe you anything. The second rider pointed at him. You die first. The cowboy clenched his jaw. Try. Inside, the hunter shoved past the assassin. I'm going. The assassin grabbed him. You'll ruin everything. She's my sister, the hunter shouted. And he's buying her time, the assassin snapped. Hold your ground. The girl cried. He can't hold much longer. He will, the elder said. But only if you rise. She blinked at him. Rise. You hold your mother's gift, the elder said. You fear it, but you must use it. I don't know how, she whispered. Yes, he said. You do. Outside, the two riders lunged at the cowboy. He blocked one strike and stumbled from the second, then shoved a knee into the man's chest. They grappled in the dirt. The spear rolled from his grip. The cowboy landed a heavy punch, but another rider kicked him hard in the ribs. He collapsed, wind ripped from his lungs. The girl pressed her hands to her mouth. No, no, no. The leader of the riders stepped forward, spear raised high. This ends. The cowboy tried to stand, failed. The leader's spear lowered toward his heart. The girl screamed, voice breaking open like thunder. Stop! Everyone halted. Even the wind paused. The leader's head snapped toward the cabin. The gift. The girl stepped into the doorway, shaking but standing. I see you, she whispered. All of you. The elder's eyes widened. Child, what do you see? She stared past the riders, past the ridge, past the night itself. I see the dust behind them, she said. More riders, many more. The cowboy's eyes widened. More. She nodded, trembling. They're coming fast. How many? The elder asked. She swallowed. Dozens. The leader's face changed. Fear flickered. Who are they? The cowboy asked. The girl's voice was scarcely a breath. The man who took my mother. She pointed at the horizon, tears falling. He's coming. Silence slammed over the valley after the girl's words. Even the riders who moments ago charged with fury now froze, their horses stamping nervously in the dust. The leader lowered his spear an inch, eyes narrowing at her as though seeing something impossible. What do you mean, dozens? He asked. The girl's chest rose and fell in shallow breaths. More riders, fast riders. They carried torches. I smell the smoke. The cowboy, bruised and panting, pushed himself to his feet. How far? She pointed to the black horizon. Close. Too close. The elder's grip tightened around his staff. She truly sees. The assassin muttered, This just got worse. The man in the vest stumbled backward, face drained. No. Not him. Not now. The cowboy looked sharply at him. Who's coming? The vest man shook his head. You don't understand. Make me, the cowboy growled. This land isn't big enough to hide from him, the vest man stammered. He owns soldiers, traders, scouts, even tribes that fear nothing. The elder snarled. He owns nothing sacred. The vest man lifted trembling hands. He owns your mother's visions. He kept her. He broke entire villages chasing what she saw. The girl's voice cracked. He has her. Had. the vest man whispered, or still holds. No one knows. The cowboy snapped, Name him. The man froze. His voice shrank. Blackthorn. The riders flinched at the name. Even the assassin stiffened, eyes narrowing. The hunter whispered, I've heard that name. Stories only. The elder nodded grimly. Stories written in graves. The girl hugged her arms. Why does he want me? To use you, the elder said, to chain your visions. The cowboy stepped in front of her, steady despite his shaking. No one is chaining her. The girl touched his sleeve, terrified. I don't want visions. I just want to live. He met her eyes. You will. One of the scouting riders looked nervously to the horizon. If Blackthorn comes, we can't stay. You brought him, the cowboy said. He tracked you. No, the leader countered. He tracked her. The girl swallowed hard. Then I'll walk away, just leave them alone. No, the cowboy said, too loudly. He softened his voice. You walk into that direction alone. You're dead. She won't be alone, the hunter said. I'll go. She won't be taken, the assassin added coldly. I owe her now. The father crawled to his knees. Child, forgive me. But you cannot face him. You must run, the girl whispered. I've been running my whole life. The elder touched her cheek. And now you must stand. A distant rumble interrupted them. Not a horn this time, not hooves. A rolling throb like many wheels grinding over dry land. The cowboy's eyes widened. Wagons! The assassin's voice dropped to a curse. War wagons! The leader of the scouting riders said, He brings his machines, his chains. His men. Dust clouds appeared at the far end of the valley, giant plumes lit by approaching torches. The hunter whispered, There's too many. The cowboy steadied his breath. We need to leave. Where? The vest man cried. He surrounds everything. To the cliffs, the elder said. They offer one path, narrow, hard, but safe from riders. The cowboy nodded. We'll move now. But the leader of the scouting riders stepped forward, blocking the way. You don't leave yet. The cowboy raised his rifle. Move. No, the leader barked. We take her to trade, for our safety. The girl gasped. Trade me. You save us, the leader said. Blackthorn spares tribes who give him sight. The cowboy stepped between them again. You touch her, we fight. The leader narrowed his eyes. You fight us all. If I must, the cowboy said. The hunter lifted his shotgun. He won't fight alone. The assassin pulled a second blade. Neither will I. The elder raised his staff. The girl stays with us. The leader spat into the dirt. Then you all die. The cowboy glared. We're used to that risk. The riders tensed. Hands drifted to weapons. Horses pawed the ground. Dust curled like smoke around their legs. Inside the cabin, the girl whispered, No more fighting. Please. The elder turned to her. Child, truth bends only when courage bends with it. Stand. She wiped her tears. What do I do? The elder nodded toward the riders. Show them what you see. She stepped forward, trembling but resolute. The cowboy touched her back gently. Easy now. The riders watched her warily. The girl lifted her chin. Look behind you. They hesitated. Look, she cried, louder. Slowly, they turned. A wall of torches, far more than dozens, stretched across the ridge. War wagons, mounted soldiers, shadowed figures, Blackthorn's force. The leader paled. He brought an army. The cowboy whispered, We run, now. The riders' formation crumbled. Even the assassin took a step back, jaw clenched. The girl clutched the cowboy's coat. Where do we go? He lifted her into his arms. Cliffs. Fast? The elder shouted, Move! Everyone scattered, the hunter running ahead, the assassin covering the rear, the elder guiding the girl's breath, the cowboy carrying her close. Behind them, Blackthorn's army descended the ridge, and the first flaming arrow streaked through the night sky straight toward them. The flaming arrow cut a streak of fire through the night sky, spinning toward them like a burning omen. The cowboy twisted his body, shielding the girl as the arrow slammed into the dirt beside them and burst into sparks. The heat licked at their boots. Run! He shouted. The hunter sprinted ahead, pumping his legs with raw fear. The assassin slashed another flaming arrow from the air. The elder gripped the girl's hand once the cowboy set her down, guiding her toward the narrow cliff passage. Behind them, Blackthorn's army thundered down the ridge, torches blazing, war wagons rolling, riders shouting commands that echoed like thunder. "Faster!" the cowboy shouted. "I'm trying!" the girl cried. The elder steadied her. "Look forward, not back." But she did look back just once and gasped. A rider carrying a tall metal standard extended a horn toward the sky. He blew it, long and deep. The ground vibrated. The girl clutched the cowboy's sleeve. "He's here," she whispered. "Blackthorn." A tall figure appeared behind the front line of riders, rising above them on a dark stallion, cloaked in black, shoulders straight, hair pale in the firelight. His eyes locked onto the girl even across the valley. The girl froze mid-step. The cowboy grabbed her arm. "Move. He sees me," she whispered. "Good," he said. "Let him choke on the sight." Another flaming arrow streaked past, grazing the assassin's coat. The hunter cried out, "We won't make the cliffs." "We will," the cowboy said. But when they reached the narrow path, the cliffside shuddered violently. A war wagon had fired a blast from some crude powder cannon. The earth split. Stone rained down. The entry to the cliff passage collapsed. The girl stumbled backward. "No, no, no!" The cowboy stared at the fallen rocks. "Blocked!" the hunter cursed. "We're trapped." The assassin sheathed one blade and pulled the other. "Then we fight here." "No," the elder said. "Here we die." The father, limping behind them, gasped. "We can plead." "No pleading with men like him," the cowboy growled. Another horn blast rolled across the land, followed by a command shouted so loudly it rattled the rocks. The girl flinched. "He wants me." "He won't have you," the cowboy said. The girl grabbed his shirt. "You can't fight an army." "You're not an army," the assassin muttered. "Not yet." The cowboy glared. "Meaning?" The assassin pointed to the girl. "She sees coming storms. Ask what she sees now." The girl squeezed her eyes shut, chest rising fast. "I see light." "What light?" the cowboy asked. She pointed trembling fingers toward the valley floor. "There, between the stones. It's faint, but—" The elder gasped. "An earth vein." The cowboy blinked. "A what?" "A hidden trail," the elder said. "A split in the land. Very narrow. Very old." "Can we fit?" the hunter asked. "You can," the elder said. "If she guides you." The girl stared at the shifting dust. "I don't know how." "Yes," the elder whispered. "You do. Let your mother speak." Behind them, Blackthorn raised his hand. Hundreds of riders fanned out. Wagons halted. Soldiers took aim. The cowboy put a hand on the girl's cheek. "Breathe," she tried, once, twice, shuddering. "Look," he said softly, not with fear, with truth. She looked at the broken earth. The dust shimmered faintly, like heat, like memory, like something calling. "There," she whispered. "The line moves, like a snake sleeping." "That's the vein," the elder said. "Lead us." Another blast shook the valley. Rocks exploded behind them. "Hurry!" the hunter shouted. The girl stepped toward the faint, shimmering path. The cowboy followed close. "Careful. It's narrow," she warned. "Good," he said. "Narrow keeps devils out." They slipped between two jagged stones. The earth dipped sharply, forming a hidden hollow, just wide enough for single file, just deep enough to disappear from sight. The assassin whispered, "Perfect." Behind them, Blackthorn's army thundered closer. Inside the passage, the girl whispered, "This path, it twists." "We follow," the cowboy said, but before they could descend fully, a sharp whistle split the air. The assassin cursed. "They see us." A barrage of arrows fired. The cowboy shielded the girl again, catching a grazing cut along his arm. He grunted but kept pushing. The elder urged, "Down! Faster!" They stumbled deeper into the passage, dust swirling around their ankles. The girl gasped. "It drops here." "How far?" the hunter asked. "Too far," she whispered. The passage ended in a steep fall into darkness. I can't jump, she said. You can, the cowboy said. No. I'll die. No, he said firmly. You'll fly. She stared at him, terrified. Above them, Blackthorn's voice finally reached their ears, cold, commanding, echoing off stone. Bring me the girl. The cowboy scooped her into his arms. She clutched him frantically. Cowboy, I'm scared. So am I, he said. But trust me. I do, she whispered. He stepped to the edge. Arrows rained behind them. The earth cracked. Blackthorn shouted again, and the cowboy jumped into darkness with the girl in his arms. They fell through darkness, a long, breathless drop that stole all sound except the girl's sharp gasp and the cowboy's steadying whisper. I've got you, he murmured, even as the wind swallowed his voice. Then, a splash. Cold water engulfed them. The hidden cavern beneath the earth vein broke their fall, the underground river pulling them forward with a hungry current. The girl clung to him, sputtering. I can't breathe. Hold tight, he said, kicking hard toward a faint glow ahead. Behind them, muffled shouts echoed down the chasm. Blackthorn's men had reached the cliff's edge. Torches flared above, but none dared follow into the dark river. The current pushed the cowboy and girl forward until they struck a shallow bank. He lifted her out, dripping and trembling. You hurt? He asked. She shook her head. Just scared. Good, he breathed. Means you're alive. The hunter and the assassin crashed into the water moments later, dragged toward them by the same current. The elder followed, coughing as he pulled himself onto the rocks. Even the father stumbled out last, limping and gasping. The girl looked around the cavern. Where are we? Between the world above, the elder said, and the one below. The cowboy helped her stand. Safe enough for now. But the girl's face twisted with worry. He'll keep chasing us. Yes, the elder admitted. He will not stop. The cowboy touched her shoulder gently. He won't catch us. Why? She whispered. Because you're not alone anymore. Her eyes softened, and for a moment the cavern light reflected something warm in them. The hunter stepped closer, drenched and shivering. Sister, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. She looked at him, a long, trembling look, then reached out and took his hand. I believe you, she whispered. The assassin leaned against the cavern wall. I expect no forgiveness. Then don't ask it, the cowboy said quietly. Earn it. The assassin bowed his head. I intend to... The father crawled toward the girl, voice breaking. Daughter, I am sorry. I feared the gift. I feared the men who hunted it. She watched him, torn between pain and pity. I wanted to keep you safe, he pleaded. You left me to die, she said softly. He closed his eyes. I am a weak man. She swallowed, then whispered, I don't know if I can forgive you. He nodded. I don't deserve it. The cowboy placed a steady hand on her back. Forgiveness ain't given in a day. She leaned into him slightly, drawing strength from his presence. The cavern cracked open into a narrow tunnel. Light seeped through. The elder lifted his staff. Beyond this path lies Red Thread Ridge. From there we track your mother. The girl gasped. She's alive. I do not know, the elder said, but her spirit still stirs, and truth leaves footprints. The cowboy squeezed her hand. We'll find her. You promise, she whispered. He paused, then nodded. I promise. They began walking up the narrow path, the river rushing quietly behind them. As they climbed toward the faint morning light, the girl looked back one last time at the darkness below. What happens now? She asked. The cowboy adjusted his hat. Now the real trail begins. And Blackthorn? She asked. We'll face him, he said, his voice low and certain. On our terms. She took a deep breath, nodding. For the first time in her life, she wasn't walking alone. At the top of the ridge, wind brushed her face. A new sunrise spread across the sky, painting the land in gold and fire. She stepped beside the cowboy, her brother, the elder, the assassin, and even the father who had failed her. The world looked dangerous, but also possible. The cowboy turned to her. Ready? She smiled. Small, fragile, but real. Yes, she said. I'm ready. They set off toward the horizon, a mismatched band bound by blood, sin, truth, and hope. Behind them, far across the valley, Blackthorn's army searched the broken earth. Ahead of them waited freedom, and the mother she had never stopped dreaming of. If this story held you tight from the first sentence and pulled you deep into a world of danger, love, betrayal, and survival, then don't miss what comes next. Their journey isn't over. Blackthorn is still hunting. The girl's gift is awakening, and the truth about her mother is only beginning to surface. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter of this epic Apache saga. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories to life, stories of courage, sacrifice, and the bonds that can save us. Stay with us. The trail ahead is only getting wilder.